What's up everyone, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing a beer from Transient Artisan Ales, and they're out of Bridgman, Michigan, and this is their Extrication. So they're calling this a double dry hopped double IPA that comes in at 8% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed in the time of review. This can is approximately 3.5 weeks old, and I want to give a huge thanks and shout out to a good friend of mine and viewer of the channel, Jeff, aka NoJinx, for hooking me up with this one. I'll post a link in the description box to the beer unboxing video I did that contains all the goodies Jeff sent my way. Very hop forward. All the beers except for one were hop forward beers, and I'm really pumped to give them all a go. But two of them stuck out, and it was two Transient beers. Now, when it comes to Transient, I've only had a couple beers from them in the past. A couple years ago, I had a Berliner Weiss that was with grapes that was really good at a bottle share. And then earlier this summer, in June, I went to the 2019 Liquid Art Festival that was hosted by the Collective Arts Brewery in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. And I had their Kentucky. One of the best beers I had at the festival was an Imperial Stout brewed with maple syrup, aged in bourbon barrels. It was just absolutely dynamite. So I've heard really good things about Transient over the last 2 or 3 years, but I've never had any of their hop forward beers. So this is where Jeff comes in, and Jeff hooks me up with two different hop forward Transient beers, and I'm pumped to give them a go. So thanks again, Jeff, for both of them. Can't wait to get into them. So now this one is brewed with Grungeist and Galaxy hops. Now Grungeist, I can never say that I've had the beer or the hops before. Maybe I've had them as part of a IPA that included them, but I've never had like them, like with just, this is basically a dual hopping of Grungeist and Galaxy. So can't say I've ever had the hop specifically. I probably have, I just don't remember it. And Galaxy, one of my favorite hops. So this should be a lot of fun to get into this one. I don't know what kind of characteristics Grungeist produce, but yeah. Anyway, these are, even though they just say, double IPA, these are in the New England style for sure. Transient, that's what they're known for. And yeah, anyway, let's get this into a glass, which I did. That pours out really dark. That looks like one of the darker other half, like triple IPAs that I've seen, reviewing so many of them. Has this really like deep, almost dull orange color, super murky and turbid, about a finger to a finger and a half of a really creamy off-white head. Looks like your, typical, shouldn't say typical, looks like your darker typical New England style double IPA. Let's get a nose. Ooh, that's interesting. That is different. So I'm getting like a lot of peach, passion fruit, stone fruit vibes, peach apricot, little stone fruit tropical vibes going on. Pineapple, like an overripened, sweeter pineapple. A little bit of the malt has this like slight biscuity, bready malt character, but then I'm getting this like earthy floral component. A little bit of herbaceousness more than anything, and it's not really dank. It's just like an herbal essence. Yeah, it smells pretty fruity. It does smell sweeter. It doesn't have like an astringent bitterness on the nose or anything that's gonna, be like a big citrus acidity or anything like I get in a lot of IPAs. Yeah, it just smells sweeter. It smells like a sweeter, like fruit bowl, but somewhat restrained. It's not super sweet, and that herbaceousness, that earthiness, floral component's kind of breaking it up. It smells pretty good though, so let's get into it. Cheers, everyone. That's nice. It's a nice beer. Body and mouthfeel are pretty damn nice. Body, 8%. This is like higher side of medium body, approaching low full. This is pretty big for an 8% double IPA. Has a nice viscosity to it, a little bit of heft, a little bit of thickness. The mouthfeel, soft, smooth, creamy. Definitely in the range of a New England style anything, double IPA in this case. The beer itself, right up front here with a decent amount of malty components, like I said, bready, almost like a touch of honey biscuit, like a honey biscuity thing, more than anything at the front of the palate. As it passes through the palate, those stone fruits, the peach, apricot, touch of mango, a little bit of pineapple and passion fruit pop their head in, and that carries on to the back of the palate, where this finishes to the sweeter side of things with a touch of dryness. Not really any bitterness to speak of, maybe a touch of bitterness on the back end, touch of dryness, touch of bitterness, but this one's pretty sweet for what it is. I can't tell you this is 8% outside of the body. This drink's more of like a 6.5% to 7% IPA from just the alcohol standpoint, but like everything else screams double IPA to me. The viscosity of the body, the mouthfeel, the flavors, just more into the double IPA range for me. That's really nice. Here's the thing with this beer. I've had this beer before numerous times. I like to say that and I say, not this beer, but just like this type of beer, this style, this just like, here's our really well-made New England style double IPA. It's been double dry hopped. You know, we use a couple different hops. What do you think? I think it's good. I think it's tasty. I think I enjoy it. That herbaceous herbal floral thing, it's like underlying throughout the palate for me, but it's more of just like a nondescript herbaceousness. But it's nice because it breaks up the monotony of all those sweeter flavors from the malt, from the fruit itself, which is nice. But yeah, this isn't overly complex. This is not overly intense in flavors, but it's really nice. I enjoy it. Yeah, I think flavor-wise for me, this is probably in like the high 3.75 range, like probably like a 3.8, 3.85. But because of that body and mouthfeel, I'm going to knock this up to a straight 4 out of 5 for Extrication from Transient. I think it's a really well-made New England style double IPA. There's not much to fault it for, but there's not much to go crazy for either. It's really well made. I like the flavors in here. It's nice, but like I said, I've had numerous beers like this, but that's not a bad thing. I mean, that's not a bad thing at all. This is like a drinking, and I say this a lot, but it comes off as sounding so dumb, and I get it, but this is like a drinking New England style double IPA. If you want to buy a 4-pack of this from the brewery, or a couple 4-packs or a case or whatever, and just throw it in your fridge, and you want something where you don't want to contemplate and think about the flavors and everything you're drinking and just like complexity, you don't want this every single time you take a sip to be something different. If you just want a no frills New England style, we'll get there, New England style double IPA that you just want to drink it, whether you're watching your favorite sporting event, whether it's hockey or football or basketball or whatever, or you want to watch a movie and you want to have a couple of them, but you don't want to sit there and go crazy about it. You just want something to drink and it has nice flavors. This is the one for you, in my opinion, from Transient. And I know a lot because I've drank one hop forward beer from Transient, so clearly I'm an expert. Anyway, yeah, 4 out of 5 Extrication from Transient. Value and availability, I have no idea. So this is where Jeff comes in, or anybody in Michigan that can get Transient. What is the availability on here? Is this brewery only? Do they get some distro to bottle shops in Michigan? I have no idea. I have no idea on the price. I will say, I'll guess this time. It's probably like, I'd say about $18 to $20 a 4-pack. That's pretty much the going rate for most New England style double IPAs is usually around, I'd say like $17, $18 a 4-pack would probably be ripe for this and appropriate considering the market nowadays. So yeah. Anyway, thanks again, Jeff, for sending this one my way. Like I said, I have another one from them, the Rainbows and Waterfalls, which I'm going to review right after this. And yeah, we're going to have a great time today, drinking 2 Transient beers. I'm going to be all fucked up, not really, but I should be having my buzz on. It should be a good time. Anyway, thanks again, Jeff. Thanks everyone for stopping by another beer review. To the next one. Cheers.